You rocking with your boys are All Rights Reserved, coming to you with another day of the investigation series. Now, here's what I quickly want to talk about. What are all the angles of investigation that are still questionable to understand? Now, I've seen alleged official documents, the last pages of them concerning an autopsy and toxicology report, but I would still be questionable why it was not released to the family that was looking for it. Now, there's another angle of documentation we still need to understand, and that would be the cause of death, which would be given when we actually get the, let's say, interrogation of the body by the doctor. Now, I've seen a credible name, I've seen some other things, but what I did not see was the exact cause of death to explain what happened. Therefore, I cannot objectively come to a conclusion to say this is how it happened. That would be the only questionable factor. With all of these things in mind, let's take a look at the angle of investigation of what's real. Now, when I talked about certain subjects and I mentioned certain people objectively that were on social media parading around with it, getting their clout and fix off of the situation, their highs off of the situation, what we didn't understand is if they witnessed these things and all of the sort, why didn't they become official with it? So why didn't they go to the investigator if this was their friend? Why didn't they stand up and take a stand for the information? Because we see a lot of people that come out and they glorify themselves off of having knowledge to actually have known someone who was famous, but if they actually cared, why they didn't come forward. With that completed, these same people stepped up into media, into our comments, and made certain things apparent. One of them used a lot of slander, did not debunk anything, made a lot of comments towards professionals they had no clue who they really were, but then slid off and tried to convince other people that they were sensible and credible. But they already sullied their character as a person, so what would make them so credible that people would believe that? And then it turned out certain other people were believing it because they were hopping in their messages. Now, what's crazy to me, I never had to hop in anyone's messages to make them believe something. You believe what you want, you say what you want, you do what you want. Also, with another angle, a major YouTuber hit me up, said some things, and we examined what they were saying. Now, the same large YouTuber took a shot yesterday. I heard you. You called it Yip Yap or whatever you guys call it. I know you're from down south. I know you're from the deep south, so I guess that's something clever to say. But what's very funny is you ended up doing a story that I already did, something I spoke about a week ago, and you did it like it was new news. Now, you have a lot of viewers that come to your channel. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're fake. I don't know if you bought them. I don't know what it is, but they're wishing death on all four of these men. Heavily. They're wishing death on these four men. So when these other people come out, I hope you convince them to wish death on them as well, especially witnesses who claimed they weren't there on a live feed, but then hopped up there and I find them on the list. That's my problem. My problem is you weren't objective. You weren't, and you're not. And you said show your sources. What, so you can get information from them too? Or what, so you could put them out there? I heard this person say it. Now listen, what type of source actually needs shown when you do a 3-minute video for financial gain anyway? It's a 3-minute video. For what really are you talking about? What point are you really addressing that's going to help further this case? Now, I'm not saying I was solely responsible, but I am saying with the work I put in, how am I not responsible for helping progress to happen? Now, I also have other people trying to critique what I'm doing and things. If you guys are not going to stand up to these large YouTubers that are just talking about it, just talking. When I say just talking, they're not talking or even calling people out when they say things. I heard nothing on these other guys when Vic Mensa stood up. They're trying to be everybody's friend. And I already told you, I'm not everybody's friend. Neither am I trying to be everybody's buddy. If you didn't know that now. I'm not trying to be your buddy in the game. So your critique and criticisms taken to an extent of I hear you, but if I don't find it credible or I don't find your behavior to match that of you to give this critique, then I'm not going to listen. Matter of fact, I am going to address you. That's how I do it. How I've always done it. That's what's funny to me. These same people that are trying to critique How much did you actually want justice? Are you just popping up on the channel now, or were you here from day one? Are you actually trying to get progress? And I agree with the FBI petition, but I've already spoken on these matters. I already spoken on these subjects. So to try and push it because you got a document, listen, how about you figure out the people around you who are fake and may be involved? How about you do that? Or how about you go search out evidence or search out people to actually find a conclusion so that we could find everybody who was involved instead of just demonizing these 4 men, as I seen the comments on your media. All you have is people coming up yelling, wishing death on these men and things. Why aren't any of you doing something to see through that they paid a piper? You guys are just talking. I never understood people who just talk through a conclusion. We're trying to make one happen and have been. That is why my sources are more powerful than these big YouTubers who they know. We know you do it for the money. We already know. So here's my warning to the larger YouTubers, because I already got at you guys once. And I didn't even completely get at you because there's stuff I left out there. I will fully get at you if you're going to continue to do that monetizing content, but then try and criticize other people around, call it yip yapper, try and make yourself look greater than thou. I'm going to get at you. I'm going to get you suckers. I'm just leaving it out there so you know, because I already made videos before that got views when I was criticizing how you were coming at someone, and I got at the person that was doing it, of the fact I know the deaths that had occurred because of one series they did, because they were putting things out there a certain way. So I'm just telling you, don't sit there and shade and try and do stuff behind the scenes, because I'm going to say it. I'm going to say your name. I ain't got no problem with that. See, that's the difference. That's how authentic I am. If you got something to say my name. But here's my thing. If you're so scared of people coming to the channel actually saying, wait, he's going in on a series and he's not talking for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, showing a bunch of pictures. He's showing his face, he's showing himself, and he's not hiding, and he's speaking what's true. Let me look into this guy's content, because you know if that happens, that they're going to see the credibility behind it. I'm dealing with real credible commenters, not people that hop on and say, oh, I hope those men go to jail for life and get assaulted, stuff like that. I don't have commenters doing that. We talk in detail. That's what you're scared of, and I know it. And I knew it since the beginning. So I'm just telling you, I showed you nothing but respect. I go to your page, hit that like button. You could still be sissies and come here and hit the dislike button, but we're above that. Your mentality's in the gutter, and we knew who you were from the start. So just matter of fact, if you're a large YouTuber, just come through and hit the dislike button. I ain't got time for it. We ain't got time to go back and forth with you. Come through, hit the dislike button so I can see who you are. Stop playing with me. How many times I gotta tell y'all that? Y'all think because, oh, I'm making this much money, I'm doing this much, that you're so much more credible. But what angle are you actually taking? Do you really care about the investigation? You scream justice for it, and yeah, you got a shout out, but that's because he didn't know who I was versus who you are. And how many shout outs do you ask for? You ask for your shout outs. I don't need to ask for nothing. And I can tell you behind the scenes, you're going to feel real salty, because I don't even speak about what I have working behind the scenes. You're going to feel salty if you want to make me an enemy. You're going to feel real salty because I'm not holding no punches. Everybody gets it. I'm the type of guy, when I pull up, everybody's going to get it. I'm not just looking for one or two. You want to look for who's your friend. Oh, let me talk about him. Let me shade him. But let me say nothing about Vic Mensa. Let me say nothing about Little Tay. Oh, matter of fact, I'll say something about Little Tay. She's just a little girl. Everybody's going to get it. That's how I move. I don't know how they move down there. I don't know who taught you what. But don't play with me. Stop playing with me. Say my name. On that Destiny Child tip, no homo. Say my name. For real. Say it. Don't play around with me. I never played around with nobody. If I talked about a subject, I had them come in my comments and speak. Matter of fact, these same people who came in slandering with no type of debunking or no stance to take up behind what I was saying, were saying a lot of funny style things, and you had them on the media like they were credible. Now, Y'all already know I'm talking about Diamonds Live. I seen the shot you took. I know. I'm not dumb. I went on your true or false. Did I go on your comments? Not only tell you did I hit the like button, but I told you, listen, I was being nice. I didn't mention the fact you had these people who I have evidence behind the scenes I know you don't have. I told you I have stuff I know you don't have. That I know things I know you don't know. And did I not give you on the phone? Did I not give you the good looks and tell you separate yourself from some people? Because some people you were running in your media, I found some other things you don't want to be around. I gave that good looks, but you don't want to say that. Matter of fact, I think that you do topics commenters could put out there, and that 90% of the time, you probably give no credit. You don't have a commenter's recognition. You don't have a commenter's recognition. You just talk around things and do different stuff. Who has a whole playlist of commenters' recognition? Here, you can start looking at those sources. Who works that way? You never work that way. I watched you for years. All you did was rake in your dough. But now you're like, oh, I didn't talk about it in any while because I was... No, tell them why you really ain't talk about it. Because you didn't have the information to talk about. Period. You only know what's released when you see it. That's why you're not built like that. Trust me. What do I say? The third eye, the mind's view. I see it before it happens. I can picture it. And I can understand through descriptions. That is how we do the objective movement. Dog, you need to see an article to be, oh, here's what was just released. If you're a reporter, stay a reporter. Stay a reporter and stay in a reporter's place. Okay? If we're investigating, you stay in a reporter's place because investigation's what gets the job done. And if you didn't know that, now you do. Stay in a reporter's place. Speak about what you're within power to speak about. What you're within knowledge to speak about. Do that. And stay in that place. Don't slide out of place trying to... No. Stay in your lane. I thought, how many times I got to tell you that? How many times I got to tell you that? I mean, when we talked on the phone, I made it very clear. The powers that be are very angry. And it goes to any situation that you don't fully understand. It goes to any situation that you don't fully get. I'm trying to be real with you. I'm trying to be real with you. And I'm making it very clear. I'm making it very clear for you. So I don't know how much you need me to say it. The story you did yesterday, I been did a week ago. If you had any intelligence, you would have said, well, dang, he knew this. So what else does he really know? You see, the reason people would come for you if you did it is because you do 3 minutes videos letting the article speak anyway. You don't do no speaking. You don't even show yourself. So how are you going to speak in any terms of understanding anything? Even in a way to explain something, you can't even show yourself. You put up other people's intellectual property and speak behind it. Period. That's what you do. That's what that is the sum up of your media. But I do content and you're going to take your shots there yip yapping. You ain't talking about ish. That's the problem. Call it yip yapping, but you don't talk about nothing. Name one video that Diamonds Live got on and he talked about it and everyone was like, oh, I learned something that they didn't have to go read to learn. I could type it in online. You get public stuff. That's the difference. Everything you have is public. Stuff I talk about, people can't find out there. Because I talk about it in detail, I actually talk to people of relevance. You're best friends with someone's mom in the situation and think that gives you the power to control all the media around you. You use a shout out that happened a while ago and make it your relevancy. Oh, I have the right. You ain't talking about nothing. We're fighting for justice for real. You're just there. Come on, man. Come on. Now, I'm keeping it real with you. That's all I can do. You ask me a few things. It's okay to be scared to say stuff or to be scared to investigate, being that you're in your position to make buddy-buddy with everybody, and you don't want them to not be your buddy because you say something or you say something off and text you like, why'd you say that? I don't link up with people like that. But best believe I'm linked up with the right people. Just know that. That is why I'm saying this for the last time to you. I don't know how else to say it to you. I don't want to say this to you again, because I don't say stuff twice to a person. If I tell you something once, that's what it is. Period. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not talking to a woman, right? So I'm not going to have to keep telling you, giving you reminders. I'm not playing with you like that. You take your shots, take them at other people you want to do the view thing with. But when you're faking media, half button media, going through it, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like running the views up, just smiling, like play that lane, reporter. Don't play the investigations lane. We're investigating, as I've done with every single story I've ever done. So that's the gist of you to understand where I'm at and where you need to be. Play that position. I don't need to say this again. Play your position. Reporter. Reporter, I'm reporting on something. That angle. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.